Your business could be getting money. You could get 1 million, 100,000, 2 million. That doesn't mean your business is stable. Your employees could be coming in. They could be getting work done. That doesn't mean your business is stable. So what I want to talk about in this video is what makes a stable business, because it's a lot of people out here getting money. Revenue is up. You know, they flossing, flashing. They like, yo, we doing our thing, but the business is unstable and you're one mistake away, 2 mistakes away from going out of business, right? Because of the instability. Anyways, let's talk about it. My name is Clive Morrison. And on this channel, we talk about how to be a stable business and then getting out of founder dependency, where the business doesn't depend on the owner or the founder of the business. All right. So we're going to talk about 3 things up here. What makes a stable business? We're going to talk about the money, the work, and the people. So the first thing is the money, right? Because of course, if there's no cash flow, money covers a lot of things. That's why you see people with getting revenue, getting money. I got 1 million, 2 million A and B in business. There's like a couple of years later, they out, they gone. You're like, what happened? They was getting money. Big companies, right? You know what I'm saying? That's getting money. Next thing you know, they're out of money because the business still wasn't stable. It don't matter how big the business is, if the business is not stable, if it's founded on bad revenue, lack of cash, a lot of debt, any of these things, business can go out fast. Because when that day comes, when you need payroll and you can't pay it, guess what? It don't matter how many invoices you got coming through. It don't matter what's going on. You still be going out of business. All right. So the money, can you depend on it? We're going to go through this. This is what the question is. Can you depend on the money? Can you depend on the money coming in, right? Is the money recurring? Is it repeatable? And when we say recurring, of course, people talk about recurring services, whether you have a cleaning business, consulting business, people on retainer, you have products coming in, somebody's on subscription, doesn't matter. Can the business depend on the money, right? So revenue is revenue dependable, right? Is revenue dependable? So what happens with that is that you're saying, hey, I know that at the beginning of the month, we're starting baseline with 100,000. We have 100,000 coming in from recurring revenue, and everything we add on that is on top of it. That's the first thing you want to do, is make sure the revenue is dependable. The next is, are the margins healthy? So what that means is that, if I sell a service for, $100, am I keeping $50 of that? Am I keeping $60 of that? Are the margins healthy where I can pay it out? And that's supplier costs, labor, everything else that goes on. Are the margins healthy? Making sure that you're profitable. Are you paid consistently as the owner? After everything is paid, do you have when we're saying the owner's paying consistently, we're not talking about you doing the job. We're saying if everything happens and then the owner is still paid. So if you're in the field, if you're managing, right? If you're doing the finance, you're doing the marketing, whatever you're doing, that is not owner's pay. That is that person's pay, and you're getting paid playing that position, because you're still, what we'll talk about in another video, is the business is still dependent on you in some shape, form, or fashion. So you're not getting paid consistently as the owner, right? The position is getting paid, but can you hire somebody at market rate to take over for that position, whatever you're doing? Is cash managed? If you don't have cash in the bank, if you don't have a healthy supply, what we're going to talk about in the money video, we're going to talk about how to manage the money and how you should have the structure. My way of having the structure is I'm gonna stop right here and tell you everything here, all these things I'm talking about in these videos is my way. I don't got nothing to sell you, so I'm telling you how I run business and what I do, right? And so, because people have a different strategy, of course, taking more risk, executing how they want to execute. This is what I talk about. And the reason why I'm stopping here to say this is what I talk about is because people, a lot of times online, you're going to see people take risk, right? They're going to be like, hey, I went and borrowed 100,000 and I got back. You don't know their skills. You don't know opportunity. Most times those businesses don't make it. We only see the winners online. So people think that that's what wins the game. Stable businesses, being steady, is what wins to begin with. That gives you the foundation to go take those risks, not taking risks off the beginning. Because a lot of times you as an entrepreneur don't even have the skills to go take that risk. A lot of people took those risks, learned something before, and started taking those risks. This is what I've seen myself. Stable businesses win. The cash is managed, right? So do you have a reserve in cash? And again, we're going to have a financial video, stability video, where it just talks about the breakdown of the cash. How do you break down your actual money? The next is, are taxes accounted for, right? Do you have an account for taxes? All right. and is debt under control? Do you have it where the debt is managed? What, because you may have borrowed it to expand, you may have borrowed it to market. You should only be using debt to expand the business, not to pay bills. You should only be using debt to expand the business, not to pay bills. All right. And then the last is do the leaders know the number, right? Do you know all these numbers? Do you know how much cash is managed? Do you know if you're profitable? Do you know your margins, right? Do you know your numbers? Do you have some kind of dashboard, which is easy to create today, of knowing your numbers? You just have to count them. Having those things makes the business dependable. All right. The next is the work. Now, the work is what you actually do. The work is, do you actually, if you're a cleaner, if you're a consultant, if you're a lawnmower, if you, even if you sell products, whatever it is the work? Is it being done? Is it repeatable? Right? So our process is defined. When we say process defined, we always start out with the beginning process is marketing, sales, client, delivery. Do we know exactly how we're getting in customers? Do we know the process from taking a lead to, you say, hey, our marketing? Do we know exactly how we get a lead, which is somebody that's interested in our product? That's the marketing. Hey, we have this thing, we're selling this thing. Do you know we're selling this thing? So they say, hey, we're interested. Do you have a process to take them from interested to a client? And once they become a client, can you deliver it repeatably the same way? Can somebody else deliver it repeatedly? Do you have that written down? So of course, that's what comes back to documented. Important knowledge is documented. Those processes, client acquisition, client delivery, documented. Are your rates clear? Do you know all your numbers? Do you know, and we're talking about the numbers here, we're talking about the rates inside of KPIs and how many leads am I getting in? How many people are converting, right? Do I understand those rates, those numbers? Do I understand my pricing, right? Is the work consistent? That just goes back to the process is defined. Are we talking about processes? And problems are solved before they become emergencies. This is a big one. So a lot of times when we say problems are solved before emergencies, what we're looking at is there are things that happen in the business and we're like, oh, that's a problem right there. Let's solve that before it becomes an emergency, right? An example in our cleaning company, one time what we'll say is people won't know, we need a checklist, right? So before anybody has an emergency about it, right? It was like, oh, I don't know what the cleaning is. I don't know what you're supposed to get. We make sure they get a checklist. So this is a problem that we're foreseeing. We're looking out about to make sure that don't become emergencies, that problems are taken care of. The last is the people. Now, we're going to ask, can the people operate without you? Can decisions are owned, right? That means that they can make a decision. They like, hey, I'm responsible for this area of work. When a cleaner goes into the house, they're responsible for the house getting clean. They don't have to call you every minute. How did I clean the kitchen? Or do you think this is clean? No, they're the ones responsible for that. If the people are on the phone and they're making sure, they're responsible for customer service. Now, going back to work is repeatable, right? Work is repeatable. Processes are defined. A lot of times people think that anybody, because they use McDonald's as the example, anybody can come in and do it. That's not really the case. Even in McDonald's, somebody has to have a prerequisite of knowledge. They may have to be able to read. They may have to be able to walk a certain way. There is some kind of ability that has to be able to have before you come in. So a lot of people think that somebody's going to come take their job. No, the lower skill it is, the easier it is for somebody who can come in and do the job. But that doesn't mean anybody can do the job, because they have to have the mental capacity or the physical capacity. We're talking about the lowest common denominator. So if you're a cleaner, right? If you're a cleaner, now you have to be able to come in and know how to sweep a broom, right? We're not teaching how to sweep. Now, there are some people that go to that level, say, hey, we're gonna teach somebody to sweep. Now, I do believe most people can learn anything, but do you have the time to teach anybody anything? We want people who come in and can take what we're saying and be able to apply it in a fast manner. We don't want to have to say, hey, this person can't even read, so we're gonna have to teach them how to read first. We're gonna have to teach them how to do math first before we can even get them to do, if we're insert your product or service. People have authority and decision rights. And where that comes in is because you want to make sure if somebody goes into a home, they can say, hey, we cleaned this extra bedroom because we thought that this person had it. We gave them a discount because we thought that because of what happened to them. These are the authority and rights and decision rights that they have. You limit those and you make sure they're in parameters so people know where they can make decisions and where they can't. So they're not guessing at what they can do and what they can't do. Manager or managing, right? And we'll talk about that over the series where you're not managing everything, because that's the other layer. Is a lot of time the next level of business is you're doing all the work and then you start managing everybody. And what I've learned by most entrepreneurs who are starting out, they don't want to be managers. They didn't start this to be a manager. Now you have to go through that phase. I'm not saying that, but most times it's like, hey, can I get somebody in here to help me manage this? And the founder isn't the bottleneck. The founder isn't the bottleneck. That means that, hey, you as the founder is not the person that is stopping, is that decision needs to get made, marketing needs to start, videos need to get created, services need to be done, and they can't be done without your approval or you being there or you on site, anything. You are the person that's stopping the work from getting done. And I didn't skip this one with team can solve problems, is to make sure the team can solve these problems. Can the team actually get together without you, the founder, and can they solve problems? Can they get together and be like, hey, you know what? We had a problem. The phones were blocked and we got together and we fixed the phones and now they're good. Oh, all right. And we see that on our weekly sheet, which we'll be talking about on our preview review. All right. So we talked about it. Is the work dependable? Is the money dependable? Is the work repeatable? Are the people independent? That is what we want to talk about, right? Can they actually operate without you? And then they become interdependent. We'll talk about that, where the team works together, where a lot of things happen without you being there. And at the end of the week, you start seeing things that happen because they're starting to show up that you're like, oh, I didn't even know that happened. Yes, at the end of the week, this actually happened. So we want to stabilize the business, which is stabilize the financial engine, which is the money, systemize the important work, make sure, and we talk about the important work because we're going to talk about processes. A lot of times people tell you get a binder, write down everything. That's not really how the work works. We want to be able to systemize the important work so that the things that need to get done, and transfer ownership, judgment, and decision-making. That's for the people. All right. I hope this was good for you and I hope this helped you out, right? This is how we're going to be going over. We're going to go deep into all of these over this series of videos of making these, right? I want to share this information because I just see so many people talking about business out there and they don't talk about the fundamentals. Everything here is going to be fundamentals of business. That's all I'm talking about. All right. Remember, so what we want to say is a stable business pays you consistently, operates predictably, and does not require your constant involvement. That summarizes the whole channel. Okay. It pays you consistently, operates predictably, and does not require your constant involvement. All right, my name is Clive Morrison again, man. Only thing I do, I run a newsletter down below where I talk about the journey of me building my businesses out because I'm putting all these things in place myself as I continue to build businesses and working. All right, so stay focused, stay blessed. See you on the next one. Peace.